Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're just going to go over the Weiss Wars Marvel Premium set. We're going to look at the cards and explore the prices, see what the chase cards are, and just generally look over the different cards in the set, the SPs, the IFPs, and see what's going on with it. So as always, I'm on uute.jp. This has been translated in the browser, and I'm on the Premium Booster Marvel set. So let's just take a look. Obviously, these are the SPs, and the pull rates for the SPs were 4 per case. And in a case of the premium booster boxes, you would get 30 booster boxes. So bear that in mind. And let's take a look at potentially like what the chase card of the set is. So the thing with this set is there was 30 cards. You could get a normal version of the card. You could get an IFP version of the card, which was the shiny version. You get one of these in every booster pack. And then you can get the SP version of the card. So yeah, another thing to consider here is there's just 30 cards in the whole set, but 3 different rarities of the cards. In each booster pack, you get 2 cards, 1 normal, and at least 1 IFP, unless you hit the SP. So starting with the SPs. Now, in my opinion, because there's so many SPs, it does mean that a lot of them will be cheap. So, for example, this here was, personally for me, like my favorite looking card. You know, I didn't pull any SPs, but the only difference in the SP is that, you know, you've got this, it's kind of hard to see here, but for Ragnarok gold stamp across the card. In the IFP version, the card's exactly the same with that removed. And I think, yeah, what have they done with these borders? They've made some sort of silver glittery version, whereas the IFP was gold around the borders. But the artwork on the card is exactly the same. So that was my personal favorite from the card that I had from my booster box, and just looking at the set online, I think I'm personally drawn to. So now if we look at that card, they've got 2 in stock. It's literally $25, $30. So pretty much cheaper than buying one booster box, really, if you take into account shipping or buying it from within the country from someone who's already imported it. So to me, I think obviously that's very cheap, but I guess it's just not a desired card. It's just one that I personally like. But you'll notice there's a lot of cheap cards here. Like that one's £42. They even have some images of them. I guess maybe they didn't open enough, because a lot of these are out of stock. So it's only the ones in red that mean they're in stock and available to buy. But yeah, there's plenty of SPs here, which I think if it's 4 in 30, then the pull rate is 1 in every 7.5 booster boxes. So you could easily, four SPs per case, you could quite easily open a whole case and end up just hitting quite a lot of cheap SPs, and losing a fair amount of money, if you're thinking of it from that perspective. Now, if we look at the expensive cards, so I did look at this earlier, and you'll notice there's pretty much 2 chase cards here. You've got the Captain America one here, which is £300, about $370, and the Iron Man one here as well. So let's just open them up so hopefully you can see the artwork a bit better. This site isn't the best site, in my opinion, to look at card designs. Obviously, nothing beats a picture of the real card where you can see the foiling and just see the stamp better. Obviously, you can hardly see the stamp on these versions. But yeah, so this one here and this one here, they appear to be the 2 chase desired cards. There are a few other cards that are worth nearly as much though. So you've got another Captain America one here, which is just a little bit less, $250, $300. There's another Captain America one here. It seems Captain America is quite the popular character for these cards. And yeah, another 250, 300. So it's kind of weird. There's several that are worth a few hundred, but then also you've got the likes of my favorite one, which is worth like 20 quid, £25. Personally, I always feel like the premium sets are kind of targeted towards collectors. You know, you get a really shiny, nice foil card in every single pack. You're paying a bit more for the packs. You only get 6 packs. The booster box price is cheaper, but yeah, I mean, you end up with some really nice looking cards, which are these IFPs, and obviously you get one per pack. So these are like really, really cheap, like literally £2, $3. But I don't know. I was a bit disappointed with this set. I mean, for starters, there was no texture on the cards. It seems like, from what I've seen, that the SPs also don't have texture on them. And just for me personally, I love texture on a card. It really, really makes the card. Even hitting like a triple rare or an SR from just a standard set, like I still love getting those cards, even though they're very, very cheap. There's no gold stamp on them. I still like them because they have texture and it sets them apart from just a foil rare or a double rare, which has some shiny to it but doesn't have any texture. So I was a bit disappointed with that, and I think as someone who collects, like I don't play the game whatsoever, so I don't know how much that comes into play here. But it's too many SPs. Like I feel like it just devalues a lot of these SPs. And if you wanted to collect the whole set, you have to buy or try and pull 30 different SPs. For me, I prefer the normal sets. I just prefer the standard sets where there's like a handful of SPs. And I know the Marvel standard set did have the other rarity, like the Marvel rare, and there was quite a few of them. But things like the Avenger rares, which were they one per case? I'm not 100% sure, but they were harder to pull and obviously held a lot of value because there weren't loads and loads of them. I personally prefer that. So yeah, I don't know about the premium sets. I don't think I enjoy them as much as I expect to, and I feel like with this, after I opened it, yeah, you could probably buy 2 booster boxes of this for the same price as perhaps the standard Marvel booster box would have been. And I know you end up with like hardly any bulk whatsoever, but I think I'd just prefer to open the first set. And yeah, I mean, there's still a few of these for sale. I see a lot of them for sale sort of on Facebook, Discord, and Instagram. I don't know how well they are selling, but just in my opinion, I just think that the original set just did better. Now, obviously, when this came out, they did also release Star Wars Premium set. So let's just really quickly take a look at that. Now, I didn't open any, I didn't buy any. I was more drawn to the Marvel set myself, but it's all out of stock in terms of the SPs. Now, it was exactly the same setup in the sense that you had normal cards, you got 2 cards, you then got a parallel in every pack or the SPs. But yeah, as you can see, they were all sold out except this one here. So either that means it's done really well, or it means that not many people ordered it and it's hard to find people who have opened it and are looking to sell the cards. Is that the most expensive one? Let's just take a quick look. It looks like it might be no 29,000. That's six. That is well. There's no art for that, but it looks like that's the most expensive one, which is obviously a lot higher than the most expensive Marvel cards. But then it's only one chase card, whereas Marvel had kind of like two that were both the chase card at high value. You got one there that's fairly expensive, a couple there over 200, over 100. But yeah, I mean, hardly any for sale whatsoever. Now, the only difference between these is the art is actually slightly different between the normals and the foils. Let's just see if we can find one here. The art changed on some of these. So I guess it's going to be a bit difficult considering a lot of these here don't have art. But let's just look at this one and see if we can see any difference. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is the SP version of the card. Again, it's quite hard to see, but I think they had some silver signatures. Well, sorry, silver stamps, and I actually really like the look of them. But yeah, they're hard to see on these pictures. So that's the parallel version. Yeah, so they're all quite different. The art on these two, so normal and the parallel, are the same, but the SP's different. It feels kind of like there's more incentive to get the SP because it is not only does it have the stamp, but like it's unique in its art. Whereas Marvel didn't do that. Who knows why? This is the kind of thing Bushiroad and Weiss Schwarz do. There's just a lack of consistency through a lot of the sets. But yeah, I think based on like people in the community seeing things for sale, I think Star Wars did better. But this is always a thing with Weiss Schwarz, is that it's print to pre-order. If everyone speculates that Marvel will do better and Marvel gets, double the amount of orders than Star Wars does, and then both sets release, and actually people start realizing they prefer the Star Wars cards, as for this reason, there's a different art on the SP, maybe that's more attractive as a collector. But yeah, if that has a 50% difference in supply because it just simply wasn't ordered, then this happens. It will just sell out and it's gone. Kind of like what happened, I guess, with the original Marvel booster box release. So same with Pixar when they came out. It's whatever was pre-ordered 3 months prior to that, before most of the art and most of the cards are revealed. Right, so eventually over time people start seeing the arts of the cards that Weiss Schwarz start showing off, and then it's too late to add to pre-orders. They're already done. The set comes out, people start seeing it online, more people want it, and then suddenly prices of those boxes were double, nearly triple in price because the demand's shot right up and there's nothing that can be done with the supply. Now obviously Pixar is getting a reprint shortly. Marvel did have a reprint as well, but that takes months again because people have to pre-order the reprint. It then gets reprinted, and this is a common thing I think in Weiss Schwarz. I might do a separate video about it. Is that it's a very weird balance between supply and demand because of how far in advance you have to pre-order and because it is print to pre-order. So it makes things very hard to actually kind of estimate, and you do sort of if you're one of those people who are making the pre-orders, you do have to think about the set, like because you're essentially pre-ordering it normally before card reveals, so you're purely thinking about the IP. But yeah, if everyone has the same idea and they all order it as well, then you end up potentially like Wow, I can only assume like Marvel Premium has. Where's it gone? I don't think I have it open, do I? To this one? No, I've lost it. I've lost it. Let's just go back here. Yeah, obviously Star Wars, hardly any cards, and obviously Marvel is still. To be fair, I think this is reasonable for new sets. This is normally what you expect to see. You know, there's a few sold out, but you can still quite often obtain most of them. The Star Wars situation is fairly uncommon. But yeah, I mean, as I said, for me, I'd probably rather open the original booster box, not based on the price it is now, but based on when it was released versus when premium was released. The cards do, you know, don't get me wrong, like I love a stamped card, but I'm not sure about these premium sets personally going forward. I think I will be very careful about what sets I decide to order. Like if I want to get a case, personally, I don't know if I would get another case of a premium set unless it's some IP that I'm really mad about. Then that's fine. But just this format they've done here, just for me, it's too many SPs, too many stamped cards that kind of takes away a lot of value from them. You could easily open a case and just get a load of really cheap stamps that you don't like, and that's never fun. That's never fun. Whereas when there's only like 4 SPs or like 4 SSPs, if you hit one, you're just happy that you've hit it, like, because they all hold their value. They're all really nice. They all have texture as well normally, whereas obviously, yeah, we don't in this case. But yeah, that was just looking over the cards. But let me know in the comments. Maybe you really like this set, and maybe you've opened cases of it, and maybe you're tracking down and trying to buy all the SPs. For me, it's just too many. It's overwhelming. So I much prefer a smaller amount of SPs because I feel like I can actually collect the SPs quite easily. But 30 of them, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you just end up buying only the ones you like, maybe. But I know there are a lot of collectors out there that will feel like they have to have like a master set and every card. So yeah, feel bad for them. Unless they just completely adore this set, which I'm sure if you do, you're not really bothered. But yeah, that's my opinion on the set. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you got on. If you were thinking of buying this set, if you skipped it, if you are collecting it, let me know how it's going and what you think of the set. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm making about 3 Weiss Schwarz videos per week at the moment. So if you want to see more videos that are mainly about the collecting side of Weiss Schwarz, please hit subscribe. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit like, and I'll see you in the next one.